This week, Megan dissects everything that's wrong and right with Germany's weird segregated education system, while Konrad worries whether this is the right time to gut Germany's Freedom of Information Act. Also, Merz's government maintains a slightly strained relationship with the German constitution. Instead of banning the AfD, it wants to ban the bit about expropriating parasite real estate corporations. Still, at least Berlin has a rent database, and Megan will never have to think about Julian Nagelsmann or Kai Wegner ever again. Mahlzeit.
In Berlin's heart, where news is unveiled, Megan and Konrad with German tales. The German news, it's tough to bear, but with mega cans, they're ready to head there. Konrad, daily news at hand. Megan feels to spare time to crack those cans. With each sip she takes, the mag is her shield. But will it last the news? 'Cause that was the deal.
Hello everyone, it's time for another episode of Megan's Megacan. I'm Megan, I'm here in Berlin with Konrad Werner. Hi Konrad.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
It's a bit muggy out, isn't it? And I feel a little bit tired.
Yeah,
suppose, but, you know.
I'm exhausted.
You're on holiday now, though, aren't you?
Yes, school's out. But I think teachers do talk, and I mean, I know everyone who's listening who's not a teacher is going to be like, shut the fuck up. But we do have this kind of like slump where I'm just like, whoa.
Right, and you're in your slump now.
Yeah, but that's why they invented alcohol.
Especially
So
fizzy alcohol.
I was in the Späti today near my house, and it's like, I do like it, but it's a wee bit notions because it's the closest Späti to Tempelhofer Feld. So I think people are just desperate. They're just making money hand over fist. And I was like, let's have a gin and tonic, even though they're 250 mils. And then it was €5.50, and I could not bring myself to do it. So what we have was the most palatable of the 330.
So €5.50 for 250 millilitres.
For all mega kinds, €5.50.
Having a laugh.
Having a laugh. Having a laugh. So we've got a Gorbachev and lemon, which I actually think is probably an underrated one. We've had it before.
Yes.
We probably had it last week if my brain has anything to do it, but here you go.
Named after the most popular of the Soviet leaders, I believe.
Yeah, my neighbour at our garden cried when he died.
Really?
We were talking, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to Gorbachev.
Yeah, why not? Oh, that is nice. It's quite lemony. It's not as sweet as I thought it would be.
No.
Christ, have we been sleeping on these? It's got a bit of a kick.
Yeah.
I can't work out if it's nice and lemon or like chemical.
Excellent. Very much looking forward to this.
We've got a lot to get through
We've got
today.
a lot to get through. We don't have to do all of it. We could save some of it.
Let's not. Let's see how we get on.
Lots of things are happening. What did we have first on the list?
Well, we've been talking about health reform. Everyone's talking about health reform. We're not going to talk about it, but it did go through the Bundestag today.
Okay. And it's basically just a massive austerity package.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have to pay more and get worse health insurance services.
Yeah.
The CDU says this is absolutely necessary.
I got an email from my therapist this week being like, please can everyone just sign, like, if you want to, you know, and just like really moved to email all of her patients about how bad this was going to be.
Really? Yeah. Because are they taking psychotherapy off the list?
They're just reducing it. I mean, I didn't understand it. It was all a bit complicated with percentages and honorar, but it's not good, and it's already very difficult to get.
No, well, I mentioned that my GP was outraged.
Yeah.
I went for a checkup with her, and she was like, better give you a checkup now while we still can, eh?
Don't come crying to me after this.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, what you always have to listen to, because I was a bit like, oh, well, maybe that sounds, you know, and then you talk to anyone who's actually working in the field, and they're like, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. So that's that. NATO summit's been happening. This is largely down to my lovely friend Daniel's Pressespiegel. Starts off with like everyone being like, it's gonna be so great. Trump's gonna love us because we're spending all this money, Daddy Trump. And then Trump comes over and is just apparently in a like terrible mood and is like, man, I still want Greenland, like fuck Iran, blah. And they're all like, oh, but we're spending so much money on defense. He's like, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I don't know what's happened there. That's that
Well,
I
that's
know
good.
of like the big headlines. We're not going to talk about what else has been happening?
Well, I've got an important story for you that hasn't really been covered very much, certainly not in the English-speaking media. The German government is about to curb its Freedom of Information Act.
Yep.
And I think that is quite dangerous. Human Rights Watch, along with over 100 other civil society organizations in Germany, have been up in arms, have released an open letter condemning this move, but it's already been agreed by the government coalition of CDU and SPD. There's like 5 key amendments. I'm reading here off the Human Rights Watch page. Freedom of Information Act is basically you can ask the government stuff.
Yeah.
There's a website, in fact, called fragdenstaat.de, where you can go and ask for information, and you should be able to get an answer. Now they want to amend this, saying that people will have to prove a legitimate interest to obtain official information, giving authorities broad discretion to reject information requests and deter people from seeking information of public concern.
Anytime you have to prove legitimate interest when you want to try and find something out about powerful entities, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. Of course, the government hasn't defined what legitimate interest means, so that they give
They'll
them
just do that on an individual basis, whether they feel like they want to tell you or not.
Yeah, so it gives them huge discretionary powers to basically say, fuck off, we're not going to tell you. Non-EU citizens who do not live in Germany would not be able to obtain public records, regardless of whether they may be able to prove a legitimate interest or not.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, only individuals would have access to public records, preventing civil society organizations or media organizations from making requests.
What?
Which is also awful, if you ask me. The government, it hampers civil society. It's a deliberate attack on civil society, if you ask me. But the government would remove the cap currently at €500 on fees for information requests, which risks creating financially prohibitive barriers. So basically they can charge you
Risks, no, which is designed to create financially prohibitive barriers.
Yeah. And
So they'll sell it to you for the highest price if they like you
yeah.
and you're an EU citizen or German.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can whistle Dixie.
Yeah.
Right.
And finally, the government would allow routine redactions of names of public officials, which would obscure individual responsibility for government actions.
So is there like an official line on why they're doing this? Like, this just seems... How do they justify it?
I think it's something to do with they want to reduce bureaucracy and reduce costs for the government, I think.
Well, I can tell you what you can do is you can stop making the registration process in Germany involve me filling out a form, having to make an appointment, going to see someone who's probably on quite a good civil servant wage, and me just watch him type in what I've written on that form into a computer and have that be the system for 84 million of us. That could be a start.
Yeah.
I don't think that restricting... I don't think we asked for that when we say, hey, Germany, can you be a bit less bureaucratic? They're like, you asked for it. We delivered. No more freedom of information. And we're like, no, that's not... No, you're welcome, guys. Great. Okay, cool. That's shit.
Yeah, hopefully there will be some kind of legal challenge to all this through the European Court of Human Rights. There might be some way of challenging this.
Okay.
But it is being done. It's quite bad. Lots of Reporters Without Borders have complained about it.
It's really going to hit journalists, hey?
Yeah, I think it's a worrying development, and especially in the current situation where we actually need more trust in government and more government transparency. You know, when you have a threat of
it's
rising
a very,
fascism.
very strange move.
Yeah.
So they're going to do this just in time to open the doors to the AfD. Who are going to be like, thanks for doing that, lads. One less thing on our list. Oh, brilliant. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like...
Can check that off the to-do list.
I mean, it's sort of... I don't want to keep bringing up the 1930s, but that sort of what happened in the lead up to the 1930s was that the Weimar Republic became more and more authoritarian to try and head off the Nazis, and it didn't really work.
They just tried to do Nazism light.
Yeah.
We're now doing Nazism zero because we've...
Don't want to keep bringing that up, but it's naheliegend, as the Germans say. Other news?
What else? What's on my list? I can talk actually about education, probably best before I drink any more of this mega can. So school's out for the summer. And this means I now have time to look at long reports. So every 2 years, both by the federal government and the states, like various different institutes for research and information on education, come together and they do the Bildung in Deutschland, Education in Deutschland report.
Is this a bit like Ofsted?
I guess it is Ofstedy, but not really. They've not got any kind of
Is it
power
like
to do anything.
standards of education? Like,
It's not to do with... It's basically like, what is the state of education in Germany? And they will look at statistics of like how many 3-year-olds are in kindergarten and who is at this kind of school and who is at the other kind of school. And unfortunately, the big headlines from the 2026 one, which had a focus on equal opportunities and like educational justice, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised, but it's not great. Your socioeconomic background, your history of kind of migration and thing, that when you're born, that is going to determine your educational possibilities.
Well,
in Germany?
Don't you get split up into clever kids and
we will come to this, and it's
plumbers.
certainly not clever kids. Yes, and that is like there's not anything particularly new in there if you've been following kind of statistics and stuff for German ones. One that I found really shocking was they broke into like the 4 quartiles of wealth and looked at reading competencies and math competencies or maths. If you are from the poorest quartile, there is a 39% chance that you cannot get the basic standards of reading and a 47% chance that you cannot do the basic standards of maths when you are 15. If you are rich in the highest quartile, both of those is just 8%. That sucks. People not making the basic grade in math. It's really not good.
And why is this happening? What's going on?
So this is the question that Germany, I'm glad you asked, that was a very good segue, has been asking itself since. Have you heard of the PISA shock?
No.
So if you work in education in Germany, you may very well have heard of the PISA shock. PISA is the international thing from the OECD.
Oh, I remember.
Which measures the competencies of 15-year-olds around the world.
Right.
Major caveat. There are lots of issues with the PISA. It is not to be held up as some kind of gold standard.
Right.
A lot of people are very skeptical about it. Fine.
When did this happen? This was a few years ago, wasn't it?
This was in 2000.
Right.
They did this. Yeah. And the report came out in 2001.
And they found out that Germany was lagging well behind. And that was
I was today years old, as the children say, when I found out that the PISA shock was not that Germany had fallen in the rankings, but in fact that in 2000 that was the first ever PISA, and Germany had just assumed that they were going to be up with the big boys.
Yeah.
Much like we go through every 4 fucking years with the VM.
Yeah.
Since 2014.
Yeah. We'll at least make the quarterfinals.
No, we won't. So the PISA shock happens. PISA publishes this, albeit slightly flawed report, but there's still, like, it's not nothing. And Germany is like, oh my God. And they were well under the average. And this is like a lot of countries.
For like reading competency and
so they do reading and maths and science.
Right, okay. And we were
critical kind of thinking. And a lot of these things are very difficult to sort of say. But generally then, since 2000, Germany has been like, who's to blame? And my argument is, and a lot of people's argument, because as you have referenced, what PISA talk about and what is clear to anybody else is this system in Germany that we have of still a tiered secondary school education.
Yeah.
it's got a little bit better now. Like back in 2000, we still had the 3 tiers, which was when you were, and in Berlin, it's older. And I kind of forget this. You do it at the end of grade 6.
Right.
But it's the end of grade 4 in most other places in Germany. So you're 10 years old.
And then they decide whether you go to Realschule, Hauptschule or Gymnasium.
Yeah, Hauptschule is basically like they just put a hammer in your hand, go and hammer those together. We might do some sums at some point. You go and stay over there. Realschule, they're like, you could maybe do some sums for the office.
Okay.
And then the Gymnasium, of course, is you're going to go to university. You are,
Right.
the shining white hope of Germany.
Right.
In most Bundesländer now, from what I understand, certainly in Berlin and apart from Bavaria, those 3 systems don't exist. They've kind of put the Hauptschule is all gone and Realschulen has kind of morphed into different things. In Berlin, we have the integrierte Sekundarschule, like integrated secondary school. But of course, the Gymnasium system still sits on top of that. And that is fucking untouchable.
Right. It's like the speed limit on the Autobahn. You can't get rid of the Gymnasium.
It's so ingrained. It's like you cut a German open of a certain social class. There's going to be like Volkswagen in there, the Autobahn, tempo limit, Deutsche Bahn maybe in there somewhere, and Gymnasium system.
Right.
And it's not just me saying this. I read an interview with Marcel Helbig, who works at the Leibniz Institute. He's not one of the ones who was a co-author on this study or on the report, but he was like, das Gymnasium ist wie ein Naturgesetz. It's a law of nature.
Right.
Like you cannot get around this.
It's like gravity.
It's like gravity. You just can't change it. And he's really arguing against it. And I come from Northern Ireland, which, unlike the rest of the UK, never got rid of its grammar school system. So it has just as entrenched a system. And the problem is that when you have a system like this, particularly when it's the state education system, rather than like private schools, people get it even more in their heads that this is based on merit, which of course it isn't. Because parents of 4th grade children who really want their kid to go to gymnasium, who have that in their hearts, that it's really important as a middle class German to send your kid to the gymnasium, they're going to pay for your tutoring. They can do all this extra stuff. They read with their kids. They speak in extended code, blah, 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 blah. They have German, whatever. And the other thing is then your results at this top remain really good. And I find this ridiculous study that even came out in 2003, which was like, who's to blame for the PISA shock? And then in this really long, convoluted way, they basically just like, oh, but if you look at the data, it's not that Germany is bad. If you look at the top level schools, the gymnasium, we're fine. We're doing really well. And we're like, yeah, that's what the report said. It's like, and in 2000, I think it's got a bit better now, but in 2000, Germany was the top of the leaderboard in terms of the discrepancy between the poorest kids and the richest kids. So your discrepancy was the biggest in the world.
And also, I actually wrote an article about this a few years ago.
Did you?
And one of the things what the article's about is that it kind of leads to de facto racial segregation.
Yes, of course it does.
And you end up with a lot of schools that only have one ethnicity and
Yeah. It's an absolute disaster. And they have, from this report that came out at the end of last month, there's a really interesting graph that they have where they show the discrepancy between the age that kids are separated into different kinds of schools and the discrepancy in their maths skills. And if you leave it later, it halves.
And if they, and this new report, are they finding that there's something being done?
So this is what really kind of started to frustrate me about this report, because like I said, they kind of talk around the problem. It's so unpopular to talk about abschaffing the Gymnasium because people are like, oh, well, you're trying to abschaffen gravity. Literally, the world will fall apart if we don't have this. And there's no real like good narrative. Like everything is just presented as like a deficit of these poor children or children from non-German backgrounds. They go on and on about language education before school starts, But because there's not actually, they also talk about there's not actually any standardized testing for kids preschool. I think the government are trying to bring that in. I don't understand where that data is coming from, that kids are so disadvantaged because they don't go to Kita. There's a big discrepancy between more educated parents are more likely to send their kids to kindergarten earlier. Yeah, so you just get this mealy mouth kind of like, oh, it's really difficult to do and we're trying, but like it's not just an education problem. But it's not really like radical enough, you know, but we're also Germany, so we can't, but it's bad. It's this whole like lack of optimism, and people can say, oh, but the system's working for the people at the top. I'm like, well, is it? Because we have an economy that Volkswagen, it was like the biggest news on the Tagesthemen yesterday, that Volkswagen is basically about, like, it's in the toilet. That's where all your top gymnasium Felixes and Florians are going. But apparently they can't innovate for shit. Yeah. Because they've had a gymnasium education which will get you really good results, but not in the most creative maybe or critical. Like they're much more traditional.
Right. Okay.
So that would be my argument, that we need to like sexy it up a little bit. But that's quite an ask for Germany. But I think there's a lot of things about the German education system that I really love. They've resisted like what's happened in the UK and things like that, where you have private companies administering exams and things like that, which just makes these big cash cows. And Germany's not like that. But it does also mean that it's quite hard to drive innovation because you're sort of relying on like loads of teachers, and like we are difficult. I think we could get a bit more creative. But they did mention in the report, and this is probably not just limited to Germany, but these results that keep happening in Germany for the last 26 years, these reports, they are leading to politicians kind of running around scrambling for ideas without really, you know, it's very difficult to work out exactly what's going to work in what kind of school and in which Bundesland and in which demographic of students. But I do think that not separating kids into different schools at 10, I think that could be a start.
I think so too.
Sorry, if you are academically capable and middle class, education, you're going to be fine. You don't actually need to have this lovely cushioned educational experience. It's not really going to matter that much. Better to go and like learn a bit about the world and like make some pals who look a bit different to you.
Mix it
That's
up.
a better
Mix
education. Anyway, I've talked for 100 years.
That's great. No, very good.
Now, a short note from our sponsor.
We ain't got no sponsors. We ain't got no ads. Just Konrad's headlines with Megan's cocktail cans. So if you like the cocktail and the current affairs, throw us some euros. Help us stay on the air.
So, if the news is doing your head in, and this podcast helps you cope,
check out some coins. Buy us some rum and cokes.
www.patreon.com, ko-fi.com. Links in the show notes. Come on, do it. Do it right now. Splendid. Come along then. Back to the show.
Should we move on to the good news? Or slightly good news?
Yeah. Berlin has created a database registry.
Yes, a rent register is billed as the first one in the whole nation's history. So every single apartment in Berlin is going to be on this central database, and landlords are legally obliged to submit the information, as in how much rent they're charging.
Yeah.
But... So we are starting with the caveats already. It's not going to be publicly accessible.
No.
So the tenants won't be able to check whether their landlords are telling the truth, which would have been helpful, I would imagine. But I'm sure they had very good reasons for not making it publicly available.
Well, because they're going to bring in this law, so they would have to renege on it anyway. So they're just like, let's not bother.
But it is supposed to be good news because it would give the government a chance to check who is absolutely taking the piss amongst the landlords, and hopefully forcing them to change their ways.
Yes. I mean, if we can't have the Mietendeckel, which was actually a very effective law that we had in Berlin.
And I'm reading here off our friends Heist, their article about this. If landlords don't register their apartment, the fine starts at €10,000 and can reach up to €100,000. And and the other bit of good news is since the 1st of July, there is a service portal Berlin, where if you think that your rent is too high, as in it's more than 20% above the Mietspiegel, I think is the level, you can report it via this online service portal.
And hopefully then,
someone will do something about
people will have access to both of those. So if they get a report about something and then they are like, oh, I'm going to check. And if the landlord has said something different, then that should be alarm bells.
Yeah.
That would be effective.
And it is good because previously you would have to directly sue your landlord.
Yeah.
And now you just report them, and then hopefully the state will take over.
Hopefully.
And go, and do the chasing for you, as the Heister writes here.
Yes, that would be good. I wish them well. I think it is worth people like having a wee look, because the Mietenspiegel, the prices aren't that high. So I think a lot of people are probably paying more than 20%.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they are. The Berlin Mieterverein, which is the interest organisation.
I am a member of the Berlin Mieterverein.
They will also welcome this move generally, but obviously had a few caveats of their own. For example, there should also have been a registry of empty apartments in Berlin. Yeah, and which are being used for like temporary Airbnb type stuff.
Yeah,
and that would have been much better. As well, to have had a registry that would force people to put empty apartments on the market. So I mean it's still good, but we're talking about 1.8 million apartments, so it is going to be quite a big register.
Wild efficiency that we experience every time we go to any of them, I'm sure.
On the bad news front, in the same area of story, the Friedrich Merz wants to ban the whole idea of Enteignung, the socialization of housing. You might remember that in 2021, Berlin had a referendum where it was decided that the major landlords, especially Deutsche Wohnen, would have to be going to public ownership.
Yeah.
And the Berlin government hasn't done anything about this now. In the last 5 years. They keep doing commissions and saying, oh, it's a big move, I don't know if we can do this. And
it's like the fucking Tempelhofer Feld. They keep doing these commissions and everyone commission is like, nah, don't, just leave it as it is. And they're like, are you sure?
Yeah, because major. Yeah. And
have you thought about how much money this will make us?
So now Friedrich Merz wants to actually introduce a new law, and Markus Söder as well, by the way, wants to introduce a new law which would ban socialization at state level. And it seems to be a law specifically targeted at Berlin and this referendum. It's but I don't quite know how they plan to do this, because the idea of socialization, the concept, is actually protected in the Constitution. It's in Articles 14 and 15, which permit expropriation and socialization in certain circumstances. So I don't know how they want to ban it. Like how the government is just going to say we're going to ban that. But we will see. So there you go. We can't have nice things, according to Friedrich Merz.
No, he gets to have all the nice things because he's as rich as fucking Croesus, but not the rest of us.
And apparently, also for centre-left people, the SPD has also been on board with this and is also...
Can we stop putting SPD on the left? You're literally just CDU, but you're still trying to be cool. Like, just fucking give it up.
So we had some good news and then some more depressing news. And we will move on.
Yeah.
To Nazis.
Woo!
To the Nazi section.
Just in case you thought it was going to get away. Oh, we've already mentioned Nazis today.
We haven't done the AfD, have we?
No.
So, a new report came out from the Gesellschaft für Freiheitsrechte, the Society for Civil Rights, which is a kind of... They're basically lawyers. They're basically all legal professors, lawyers. They spent a few years going through all of the AfD's social media, their manifestos.
Ugh.
their various... that must have been a depressing job.
Doing the Lord's work. My God.
They spent a year combing through 77,000 parliamentary documents, 55,000 press releases, and 2.9 million social media posts to examine the AFD according to academic standards. According to, well, also their legal standards, to determine whether or not, if we as in the German government or the German parliament, were to move to ban the AFD in front of the Constitutional Court, would such an attempt be successful? And they came to the conclusion that it would. Yeah. That it would most likely, the AFD is demonstrably unconstitutional. Yeah. The society, the legal experts came to the resulting opinion. The problem is, of course, no one has yet decided to try and ban the AFD. The only bodies that can do that are the federal government or the Bundestag or the Bundesrat, the other house of the parliament. And they would have to go to the Constitutional Court and file a motion. And the last time anyone tried to do this was, I think, 2021, and they failed. They were voted down. The last, it was January 2025, only last year. Okay. Only 124 out of 733 members of the Bundestag voted in favour of calling for a ban. But the hope is that this new report, legal assessment from the GFF, would apply more pressure, especially to the CDU and SPD members.
I really would like everyone, and I know you said we don't want to bring it back to the 1930s, but let's all just fucking play a game where it's 1930 and we have someone coming out and be like, oh lads, we can just ban them. Yeah, that's how we need to act, and like, fuck the consequences, because they cannot be as bad as what is potentially going to happen. And I'm sorry, like, all of the other signs are there. The economic decline, immigration is down. This was another thing that the educational report was saying, like, it's down, everything's down. It's not good. This is not a time of optimism. And fucking ban them. I'm sick of looking at them. I'm just sick of it. I'm fucking sick of this nonsense. And we lie around and pretend like all of this is inevitable. And it's not. Yeah. Like, AI, not fucking inevitable. We're like, oh, we need to prepare. Do we? No. Turn it fucking off. Regulate it to fuck and just say, no, fuck you. We're not going to do this.
Yeah. It's like we do have a choice.
Yeah. And like, let's play that. What would I do, knowing what I know now, if I went back to 1930 and some insane experts came to me and was like, this will work if you just have the fucking guts to get up there and ban it. Let's fucking God, that would feel so good. And we're gonna start a revolution. Are you? You can't fucking start a war. You can't, like, you're not going to.
No, and also, what is the point of having a constitution and a constitutional court?
This was the entire point of 1948, by the way, lads.
I know. Yeah.
This is literally what we've been training for.
Yeah.
Like, this is why we wrote the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, also go back to 1948 with all these people sitting down to write this constitution.
How
Ask
can
them.
we stop this happening again?
What would you do? And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? We told you what to do.
Yeah, we have a constitution and we have some lawyers and some judges who will decide. And that's how we protect our constitution and protect democratic Germany.
And everyone's like, oh, they're polling highest. It's still max 1 in 3 people.
Yeah, it's about 29% they're polling out, which is in the lead, but obviously nowhere near a majority of Germans.
Those will be people taking the piss. Like,
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think people are going to, like, rise up.
So, would you like to hear some of the reasoning from the report?
Yes, please.
This is according to Bijan Moini, who was one of the project leader of the report of the GFF. The AFD opposes the principle of democracy by seeking to suppress its political opponents. And it opposes human dignity, which is the first article of the German constitution, because it's racially charged political concept, much like that of the NPD, the neo-Nazi party.
Which is banned.
No, it's not banned.
It's not banned. What is the one they did ban? Sorry, I'm interrupting.
They banned some communist party in the 50s. That's the only successful ban there has been.
I thought they banned the NPD.
No, they tried to twice. Didn't work out for various reasons.
My apologies.
Because the racially charged political concept of the AFD establishes different classes of people, which is against the German constitution. And then it talks about, the rule of law, the fact that the AFD keeps threatening to prosecute Angela Merkel and Olaf Scholz if he gets into power. That is anti-constitutional. You can't prosecute, elected officials like that. That's this is kind of like why we have
we really should prosecute some of them, but not for those reasons. I genuinely, this is literally why we have the Germany that we have today. It was all designed for this, and all we need to do is just do the thing. They've already written the plan. This is what Germans are good at doing, following a plan. And I think that needs to be the narrative. Stop talking about democratic Freiheit and start talking about the Verfassung. This is why we did this. It's not even been 100 years, you clowns. And then we ride that wave of goodwill and we just carry straight into the gymnasium system and we say, hey, we should have got rid of this in 1948. Pew! And we'll all be in our utopia with 10% megacans. Speaking of which...
Speaking of Nazis...
megacans. This is really good.
It's not bad, is it?
Enjoying it because it's... I thought it was going to be really sweet, but it's not. It's really lemony.
Yeah, it's proper lemony.
It feels like I'm kind of sucking on the pith.
Yeah. Well done, Gorbachev.
But,
you
Gorbachev is that vodka, isn't it?
I think it's named after a vodka, not after a Soviet leader. I might have been making a joke earlier.
Well, the vodka is named after Gorbachev.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Gorbachev vodka. It's like cheap vodka that you can get.
No, I don't know if it has. Look, it says since 1921. He wasn't even alive then. I think it's just named after its own vodka. I think the leader. Came
what
after
you think? You think Gorbachev was named after this megacan?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that either. I think it was a coincidence that they're both called Gorbachev.
I find that. It's with quinine. Is that what quinine is?
Yeah.
That's what's making it so delicious. This is basically a gin and tonic, but with loads of lemon in it. That's why I like it.
So you had a gin and tonic after all?
Yes! Guys, get onto this. Sorry, where are you seeing this since 1921?
Above the Gorbachev, there's a little eagle there, and it says by his tail.
Yeah,
it
I
says
see
since
it now.
1921. Anyway, that's basically all the news. We really don't have to go. I've got a couple more things, but we can have to do so. There's a database now where you can find out if your granny was a Nazi, if you're German.
I know, I got a ticker for that at the bottom of my screen. Were your grandparents in the Nazi party? But do you have trouble sleeping through the night? And I was like, what the fuck? I was finding no, one part of middle class.
Maybe that's why.
Colonizer guilt I don't have to have.
Maybe that is causing your insomnia, as you're worried about your granny being a Nazi. But since February, the US government has put all of its, because the US government had all of the Nazi party files. They just took them.
We're taking these.
All the little cards.
Fucking cunts.
Yeah. And apparently they managed to, because a lot of them were destroyed in the war, obviously, but about 80% of Nazi party members are all filed away. And in February, the US government put them all online so you can search them. And a couple of months ago, this is actually old news, a couple of months ago, the Die Zeit newspaper and then the Süddeutsche Zeitung newspaper made them easily searchable for German people and tried to sell a subscription to people like you by putting a little ticker on your screen going, was your granny a Nazi? And
subscribe.
Now, yeah, but I did actually have a look, so because I'm half German, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And?
No, she wasn't.
Oh, that's good.
Nor was my grandfather, but my great auntie was. She was a proper Nazi.
Oh, wow.
Gandalf.
Did you find that out from this database, or did you already know that?
I kind of already knew, but I didn't know. I didn't know when she joined the Nazi Party, and also my. Because
was it like early adopter?
yeah.
Sorry, that's not funny.
That's not funny. But yes, a couple of my extended family joined the Nazi Party before 1933, which is early. So,
and it also really wasn't.
Out.
There's sort of this myth where you kind of like had to be in the Nazi Party.
Yeah, to kind of get on, but you didn't.
No.
You didn't have to. You especially didn't in 1930.
Or 1925, when your great aunt was like, pick me, Adolf.
Something like that.
Sorry, I'm being very rude to your family, but also she was a Nazi, so I think we're probably even. Good news.
Oh, yeah.
Other than the rent portal, whatever, let's see what happens. Sorry, this has blown my mind that this Gorbachev vodka is not actually... It's from Berlin.
Yeah, it's not named after Gorbachev.
I always assumed it was.
No. I mean, I don't know.
I think maybe because there's also a vodka that you can get which is cheap, which is like something, it's called like Everybody Loves You Boris Yeltsin.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe that's what
Anyway,
I confused it with.
Was that the good news? No.
No. Since our last podcast, Nagelsmann, Bundestrainer for the German football team, is fucking gone. He is resigned. I don't need to look at his little Weasley face anymore. Don't need to think about him. That's brilliant. We're probably going to get Jurgen Klopp. I have a lot of thoughts, but also, as of today, whatever happens, and we're putting this in good news because Lord knows we'll have to retract it later when we find out who's going to replace him. But Kai Wegner is not going to run again in the Berlin elections in September.
Woo, yes.
Woo!
You don't have to look at his
We all say
face
with
anymore.
bated breath. Yeah, honestly, his big... I'm a cartoon villain, like, mayor.
And
like,
also the Linke are currently leading in the...
they really
polls,
are!
I believe, in the opinion polls in the Berlin election. So that's
So
also...
who's their, like, mayoral candidate? Do we know? Anyway, this is for a different podcast.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that question.
No.
We'll find out. We have plenty of time
We've
before
got
the election.
plenty of time. Do you know what I don't have time to do, though? And I really could have actually done it, which was get registered to vote for this election.
Wow.
But I'm just nearly got the paperwork
Okay. Well,
for the Staatsbürgerschaft, and then it'll take ages.
So the election is on the 20th of September, the Berlin election. And according to the latest poll, which is actually from the 1st of July, the Linke are in the lead with 20%. The Greens are in second place with 19%. It's very close. AFD's third at 18%.
Oh, God.
CDU is fourth, 17%. And the SPD in fifth on 13%. So
I think...
make of that what you will.
Yeah, it's going to be...
It's going to be very close. They're basically all on 20%. Except for this SPD.
Well, we could have just red. Could we have? No, we'd need to get more.
Yeah, it would be red, green, red would be the
which is the classic Berlin.
It would be Linke, Greens, SPD would be a possibility.
It's very difficult if you take the last place in with you.
Well, they're not the last place. There's other parties down. I mean,
okay.
I didn't even mention the FDP.
I was going to say, God love them.
But they're not even probably going to get into Parliament.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
all right.
That's enough news for today.
That's
I think
enough
we've been going
news.
on for hours.
Honestly, I feel like we have been here for hours. I still have a wee bit of can left, though.
Okay.
You won't, though.
No, a little bit.
Oh, well. Honestly, Gorbachev, hello.
Okay. I think we've...
All right, yes, sorry.
That was a comprehensive news roundup. I think
Jesus
we've never done such a comprehensive news roundup.
No, like that legitimately.
I mean,
you could actually use this one episode as your news source for Germany.
Yeah.
For...
Oh, and we forgot to say...
Oh, Christ.
Follow our Instagram page.
Please follow our Instagram page. We really love your engagement. Give us your summer tips. Yeah.
Good.
We should have done that at the beginning.
Yeah. And also you can support us on Patreon.
Oh, yes, also that. Buy us some cans.
And on Ko-Fi. And do give us feedback if you want to write in on hello@megansmegacan.com.
Yeah. People, I'm happy for people to, like, everyone is always so nice when they write in and like, oh, I hope you don't mind, but like, oh, I'm actually a massive expert in the thing that you gave your absolutely fucking drunken, unfounded opinion on. Would you mind if I just shared a few points? I'm like, please, Christ on the bike. Please do. Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.
It's going to get hot again. Drink water and maybe medicine. Bye.
Can German news in English with a cocktail can. The German news, it's quite a test. With Megan's Mega, you're feeling refreshed. Ooh. Megan's Mega can. German news in English with a cocktail can. Deutsche Nachrichten sind düster und schwer.
Defy the fear.
Yeah.
It's actually it's quite a positive message to give to people.
So.
I like to think that we have quite a positive impact on our listeners.
I hope so.
Because we try and get them to defy the fear of listening to the news all day.
I mean, it's better than reading a German newspaper. Surely.
I would definitely recommend listening to our podcast more than reading any German newspaper.
German newspapers barely have pictures.
No.
Like fucking, it's just a brick of text.
Oh yeah, and they seem to make a virtue of it. They think it's like so great to have no text.
Not like you Americans
pictures.
with your fucking
colour pictures.
decadent pictures in your newspapers.
Yeah,
What's that? A crossword puzzle? Oh, no wonder you had Trump. Jesus Christ, everyone! Like, there's a middle ground.
You have to concentrate on the news. It's very important. And you have to like keep this there.
Just have a mega.
Have a mega. Give us a picture every now and then.
Just a wee picture, maybe of,
yeah.
a diagram.